Everyone is up in arms about what happened in Weston again with the anti-Semitic graffiti sprayed on the Weston Hills Country Club. This week, I had a chance to speak to the press, and I want to share with you a synopsis, very short, what I said to them. But before that, let me draw your attention to a very interesting verse in this week's portion. It says when God was speaking to Abraham, he made a promise to him. This is before he has children. He tells him that he's going to have a child and he will be the father of the great nation of the Jewish people. And he takes him outside and he says, look up into the heaven and count the stars. Can you count them? He says, no. And he says, that's how your children will be. In other words, understood that what we take from this is that God was telling him that your children, the Jewish people, will be so numerous like that of the stars. You can't count them, you won't be able to count the children. But the truth is, we all know that the stars are so numerous. I think I saw the number 200 trillion, 200 billion trillion, whatever that number is. And it defies any imagination. You count all the Jews since the beginning of time, from Abraham till today, you don't even come, it's not even 1% of that number, nothing. It's not even, we'll never get there. So why did God tell Abraham such an exaggeration? So I heard a very beautiful interpretation of one of the great sages of the previous century who said that when God was talking to him, the sun was still shining. It wasn't evening, it was daytime. And he took him outside and said, look up, can you count the sky, the stars? And of course he couldn't. Why? Because the sun, the great luminary, outshone all the stars. And that's what God was telling him, that the Jewish people are not going to be, it's not a question of numbers. We never looked at numbers, nor should we. But it says all the stars in the sky, meaning a metaphor for the nations of the world, will never be able to outshine the great luminary, the sun, which is only one, but its light is so strong, and therefore, when you have the sun shining, you can have trillions and trillions of stars. They'll never be able to outshine the great luminary, the sun. And this, my friends, is important to understand and appreciate in a week like this, and in a time like this, when we are confronted in this beautiful city, Weston, with this type of behavior. And this can intimidate us, this can make us feel low and feel threatened and so on. My message to everyone is that while law enforcement will definitely do whatever they can, and they should, use all the force of the law to arrest these people and bring them to justice and find them and eliminate this problem once and for all. For us, the regular citizen, there's only one way to combat this, and that is by doing something positive. If this is a person that's doing something evil, spreading darkness, you do something positive, you do something kind. Be a little more Jewish. He's threatening you as a Jew. Stand up taller as a Jew. Be more open about your Jewishness. Be more proud of your Jewishness. Affix a mezuzah on your front door. Invite someone to Friday night Shabbos dinner. And if you don't do Shabbos dinner yourself properly, maybe do that. Even one time. Be a little more Jewish. That will dispel all the darkness. A little light will dispel much darkness. You don't chase away darkness with a broomstick. You can't fight darkness with that kind of method. It's making statements and making demonstrations. It's not going to get you anywhere. Leave that for law enforcement, for the authorities that have to deal with that method. As for you and me, spread light. Be more Jewish, because when you shine, when your light shines, 1 million anti-Semites and 1 billion anti-Semites and 200 trillion anti-Semites can never outshine the great luminary, the Jewish people, when they stand tall and they shine. But when we cower, when we feel intimidated, we're swallowed up. Stand like a sun, shine like a sun, and be there for your neighbor. Be there for each other. That will dispel all this anti-Semites. They won't be able to do anything to us, because God's with us. The protector of Israel does nor sleeps nor slumbers, and he will be with us forever and ever. Shabbat Shalom, and shine like the sun. Stand tall, because no one can affect you in any way when you do that. Shabbat Shalom.